Well, I've only been waiting since 1996, but it finally has happened. Tupac's family and friends and fans, the legendary rapper, a suspect has been arrested. Finally, in the 1996 death of Tupac, one of my personal favorite rappers. Today's arrest, which is September 29th, 2023, one of the last living witnesses to the 1996 killing of rapper Tupac has been arrested. There must not be a statute of limitations in Las Vegas. There isn't a statute of limitations for state crimes in South Carolina. So I find that interesting. I'm glad to see that an arrest has been made. Of course, anyone who is arrested is presumed, of course, like anyone, to be innocent unless the prosecution can prove otherwise. This is from the Associated Press. One of the last living witnesses to the 1996 killing of rapper Tupac Shakur has been arrested in the Las Vegas area, a long-awaited breakthrough. Yes, I would say so. So the person who was arrested is Duane Keefe D Davis. He was taken into custody early this morning on suspicion of murder, according to two officials who have first-hand knowledge of the arrest. So we don't know exactly what the indictment says. Hopefully that will be released later today. We don't know yet if Davis has an attorney who can comment on his behalf. Let's talk about what the police took from Keffe D Davis. What have they taken so far? Well, they've collected multiple computers, a cell phone, a hard drive, a VAB magazine, and several .40 caliber bullets, 2 tubs containing photographs. It doesn't say what the photographs are of, and a copy of Davis's 2019 book, Compton Street Legend. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at this book, but it was a tell-all memoir. Now, Davis has been known to investigators and has himself admitted in interviews. He's been pretty upfront and forward about this. So he was riding in the Cadillac where the shots came from that killed Tupac during the September 1996 drive-by shooting. Now, if you'll recall, Tupac was gunned down when he was only 25 years old. He was in a BMW driven by Suge Knight. And of course, Suge Knight is Death Row Records founder. And they were just waiting at a red light when this Cadillac pulled up next to them. And where Suge Knight survived this. And unfortunately for Tupac, he did not. So if you'll recall, I recall very vividly the All Eyes on Me 4th solo album from Tupac. It remained on the charts. It sold 5 million copies. He was nominated 6 times for Grammy Awards. He's still considered one of the most influential and versatile rappers of all time. I could not agree more. So in Davis's memoir, he said he was in the front passenger seat of the Cadillac and had slipped the weapon used in the killing into the back seat from where he said the shots were fired. Now, Davis implicated his nephew, Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, saying he was one of the 2 people in the back seat. Now, Anderson, as you probably know, had been involved in a casino brawl with the rapper shortly before the shooting in Las Vegas. Davis revealed in his memoir that he first broke his silence in 2010 during a closed-door meeting with federal and local authorities. Interesting. So it does involve federal and state authorities. At the time, he was 46 years old and facing life in prison on drug charges when he agreed to speak with them about Tupac's killing, as well as a fatal shooting 6 months later of Tupac's rival, Biggie Smalls, also known as the notorious B.I.G. He decided that he was going to cooperate when he was 46 years old. It says that he agreed to talk to them. They offered to let me go for running a criminal enterprise and numerous alleged murders for the truth about Tupac and Biggie's murders. Is what he wrote. They promised they would shred the indictment and stop the grand jury if I helped them out. Let's talk about that. They promised, I don't know who they are, if it's the police. They don't necessarily have the last word on that. Sometimes it can be the prosecutors. And so they may have told him things that were not true. I don't know. This is like brand new, hot off the press. So Shakur was feuding at the time with rap rival Biggie Smalls, who was fatally shot, as you recall, in March of 1997. Both rappers were in the middle of an East Coast, West Coast rivalry that primarily defined hip hop scene during the mid 1990s. So then they talk about a retired Los Angeles police detective spent years investigating the Tupac killing and wrote a book about it, said he was not surprised by Davis's indictment and arrest. And that person, that police detective that's retired, is ga&g. He says it's long overdue. I cannot agree more. Just from the outside looking in, Keating told the Associated Press during a recent interview, people have been yearning for him to be arrested for a long time. It's never been unsolved in our minds. It's been unprosecuted. Well, maybe that may be, but for Tupac's friends, for their family, it's been a long time coming. And why hasn't there been an arrest before now? Why are we waiting all these years? Why did they wait? Well, maybe they were trying to get their ducks in a row. They didn't want to make an arrest that would not lead to a conviction. We don't know if the arrest is going to lead to a conviction, but perhaps they felt that they didn't have a strong enough case. I'm not sure. So Keating, the same guy that wrote this book, said that he interviewed Davis in 2008 and 2009 during the Los Angeles police investigations of the killings of Shakur in Las Vegas and the slaying of Biggie Smalls. Keating said that he talked with a Las Vegas police detective about the case, including after the SWAT raid in July at the home. The former Los Angeles police detective said he believed the investigator gained new momentum in recent years following Davis's public description of his role in the killing, including his 2019 memoir. It's those events that have given Las Vegas the ammunition and the leverage to move forward. Prior to Keffe D's public declarations, the cases were unprosecutable as they stood. He put himself squarely in the middle of the controversy, is what Keating says. He acquired the gun, he gave the gun to the shooter, and he had been present in the vehicle when they hunted down and located both Tupac and Suge Knight. Keating noted that Davis is the last living person among the four people who were in the vehicle from which shots were fired at Shakur and Knight. Others were Anderson, Davis's nephew, Terrence Bubble Up Brown, and DeAndre Freaky Smith. It's a concerted effort of the conspirators, Keating said, adding that he believed that because the killing was premeditated, Davis could face a first-degree murder charge. Stay tuned for more updates.